What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome to Not Your Status Quo. Today, we are talking X-Men 97, Tolerance is Extinction Part 3, the season finale of Season 1. But before we get into all of that, Dave, Doug, how's it going, gentlemen?
Well, Keith, it's good to be back. It's been a while, and I've been doing things. Speaking with Kevin Feige about about when his contract's up, what he wants to do, whether he wants to do some. He's already doing a Star Wars movie. What does he want to do after that? And I was thinking that's why I was talking to the guys right before we went on. I was asking how long James Gunn contract is with Warner Brothers because he could come over and take over for Feige, and I think
Because you're going to have to go talk to him next, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna set up a move. Well, Keith's, the one that's buddies with him, so we're gonna have to set that up after we get off here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The,
So
how did the X-Men writers retreat go?
the X-Men Writers Retreat.
Yeah.
Well, I mean next season, you guys are gonna be pretty happy. Let's just say that.
Oh, yeah.
But Doug, how are you doing?
Well, Dave, let me tell you, I am outstanding. Dave, do you know why I'm so outstanding?
Because you're a farmer and you're out in your corn.
That's a good one, but no, nobody paid for a dad joke, so you need to take that
Oh.
back. Yeah,
I-
come on, stop
I
giving.
think-
What? Do you think we're a bunch of communists here? Come on, David. Sick of your shit. No, I am outstanding because you're back, and I've been waiting to talk X-Men with you. Keith is fine, but he likes everything.
Okay.
That's not true.
Well, you not hear too much negativity on the X-Men from me. It was too incredible.
It was so incredible, and boy, I cannot wait to talk about it with you two gentlemen because, my gosh, this is how you do TV. This is definitely how you do TV. So, without further ado, Keith, sir, how are you doing?
Gentlemen, I am tremendous. Not only because Dave is back, but because we do get to talk this wonderful show. We're always, at least I shouldn't say it, we're always, but I'm always worried when a show is this good, they're not going to land the finale. And they certainly landed this one. This was a tremendous way to end a season. I couldn't be happier. I was busy at work and I started watching it on my lunch break and I couldn't finish it. I had like 20 minutes left. And so I'm like waiting for my kids to go to bed last night. I'm like, hey, time for bed. It's a school night. Get to bed. They're like, no more minutes. Go. Out of here. And I finally finished. It was just like, wow. What an amazing piece of television. Thank you, Marvel Television, Marvel Animation, for that. That none of us in our wildest dreams could have imagined it was going to be this good when they announced it.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, I always compliment the Bad Batch on how they, their scripts are deep and their everything on their show has meaning up to the next episode. But this, I was like, how did they fit all this into 34 minutes? It's incredible. They packed so much material into every show except for that one show earlier with the
Motendo.
Motendo guy. Besides that, this has been a flawless season, really.
I agree.
Could not agree more. Absolutely.
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 Haven't had an absolutely in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's start talking about this episode because, a whole lot went on. I was happy to see that Wolverine was down for the count this entire episode. They weren't trying to rush him back. We
Right.
see him critically injured pretty much, and I'm just hoping, that healing factor can kick in. We see Xavier taking control of Magneto. When I thought for sure, I was like, oh, we're getting a flashback.
Mm-hmm.
And then realizing, they're basically in Magneto's mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what good writing does. They really did a good job of making you think of something else, especially because that bar scene reminded me of the scene from First Class when they went and tried to recruit Wolverine. And I'm like, okay, so this is their past when they were working together and trying to recruit me. All right, here we go. And then I'm like, oh man, you guys got me. You guys got
That
me.
transition, though, that transition was amazing. I love the as you see like Magneto's hair grow back out, and you see Charles' face grow a little bit older, and it's like, oh, that was smooth. Like, I know I've said this in our previous breakdowns, but the animation is so good. I went back and I was watching a couple of episodes from the original, X-Men animated series, and
The homework assignment
you
ones?
know, it's what's that?
The homework assignment ones?
Yes. So I mean, it's definitely a product of its time. It clearly had a couple of issues, but all in all, they've taken what was good. They've taken everything that was good about that original animated series, and they've made it even better. The animation is so much smoother, but it still feels like it's part of the same thing. Just it feels like a continuation, but improved upon.
Yep. And Keith Richter in the YouTube chat said best animated show ever.
Oh,
Agreed. I cannot think of one better. And Dave was talking about the Bad Batch earlier, and I almost feel bad for the Bad Batch because as great as that was, completely overshadowed by this X-Men series.
yeah.
Yeah, if you put the Bad Batch out there by itself, yeah, we wouldn't have any other show to talk about. But you put it out there against this X-Men show, which I didn't expect to be this good.
Neither did
It's
I.
just, it's amazing. I
I was
mean,
telling Keith in our last breakdown last week. I was like, I thought that this would be a bit of nostalgia bait at best. I assumed it was just going to be like, okay, it's fine. It's a they're pulling at my heartstrings. They're just telling me, oh hey, you remember X-Men? Ah, you like that, right? You remember '90s cartoons? You remember Saturday mornings? And I figured it was just going to be a lot of that, and I would watch it, but I didn't think I would love it as much as I do. It turned out to be so fantastic. Like this entire season, again, as you said, Dave, save for that one episode. I think that was a little odd, but in its defense, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, in its defense, it did serve a purpose in this episode when we
yeah,
got
it
to see
did.
Jubilee go full force and just smash fireworks in Bastion's face. That was freaking cool. And I was like, okay, so I guess the Motendo episode did serve a purpose because it showed her how to be a badass.
And it showed that Sunspot he saved her, and it
Yeah.
showed how they were going to be. Well, I don't know if they're an item, but she smiled at him. But that's what that show back then was when he first showed us powers, right? And he developed them, and he was able to save her in this episode. So yeah, it had kind of a little foreshadowing going on there
Still
in
could have
that
been
little
done
section.
better.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely, absolutely. I mean,
Are you making up for lost time?
yeah,
Then
Or are you
we
just old?
I'm a little jealous of KJ Richter there because I subscribed before we started, and it still didn't pop up. It just hates me.
did you did you share it and send a chat?
Yeah, I'm not seeing it in the chat.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It didn't pop up because I did select show other people or whatever, let other people know your status,
Hmm,
and then I selected the box, and it didn't show up.
that's weird.
It's just me. It's just me.
Yeah, Twitch does not like you, Dave. Sorry. But
Nobody be
KJ
afraid.
Richter
It's
7,
just
thank you for resubscribing for 12 months. We
yeah.
appreciate it. You're in the chat on YouTube. You're resubscribing.
Why?
Yes.
We have no
Resubscribing on
more fun on the
Twitch.
show here,
You know,
folks. We subscribed.
uh, and look who is in Twitch. Attack on Show. Welcome in. What's happening, sir? We're just talking a little X-Men 97. Just marveling at
Which
what an
we
amazing
know.
show this was.
Ah, that was
Yeah, we
good.
know he liked it.
Marveling. Ah,
But were you guys a little surprised when we saw a little Phoenix Force making its appearance in this episode?
I
no,
was.
because we got the foreshadowing in the previous episode, so I wasn't as surprised. I figured it was going to come out. I thought it was going to take control of her, and I really thought they were going to go down that path again, where we're going to have to, oh, okay, that's going to be the deal next season. We're going to have to, Jean's going to have to fight off the Phoenix again. But boy, did they wrap that up quick. She's like, oh, yeah, Phoenix is gone, but it was inside me. And it's like, hey, I want to help my friends. All right, move on with the rest of the episode.
Oh, sweet summer child. It's coming back.
That's what I thought when she dropped to the ground. She said, "It's gone now." I'm like, "It's not gone."
No, she promised it's gone. We're not going to have to watch any more live action Fox movies of Phoenix. She promised it's gone.
Attack on Show said darker Phoenix.
Darker Phoenix by Zack Snyder.
The Phoenix Force will be back, and I have a little theory about that. Maybe we'll talk about it a little bit later.
Ooh.
Because
do you have a what's next?
You know it, sir.
Or a theory palooza, maybe?
But man, it was shocking to me too that not only did the Phoenix take care of Bastion, get the metal thing on his head to kind of get back control of those prime Sentinels. Man, what she did to Sinister, where she was just picking the mutations out of him. I was like, is it wrong to feel a little bad for Mr. Sinister right there? I was like, and then, of course, to add insult to injury. What do I look like? What do I look like? Morph's like, you look great.
You ugly face. You always look like this, you little bitch.
You look fine to me. Thanks, Morph.
Oh god damn, yeah, that was rough. You got burnt.
An Attack on Show says the Phoenix really hates water, always breaks out when Jean is drowning. Yes. But of course they did retcon the original time she brought out the Phoenix Force, that the original Jean Grey was still at the bottom of the ocean. I believe that was in the X Factor comic from the 80s, the late 80s. It was like a crossover between the Avengers and the X-Men, where they find Jean Grey at the bottom of the ocean. Namor basically finds her. So
was that Madeline then?
No, it was just the Phoenix Force impersonating her. It wasn't actually using her body at the time. And then later inhabited her body. It was, because when you watch, if you guys have ever seen the Chris Claremont documentary on Prime, him and Byrne went to Jim Shooter, who was the editor-in-chief at the time, and said, we want to kill Jean in the Dark Phoenix saga. And he was like, okay, but you can't bring her back. And they were like, okay. And then a few years later, they brought her back anyway. But I mean, that's commitment to a story when they're like, yeah, we're fine not bringing her back. We think this is a good conclusion for that character and how it ends. And I was like, man, they should have probably left her dead. But it's comics, so it's good she's back too.
Speaking of leaving someone dead, I am glad that they have really stuck to it, at least so far. I don't know if that mid-credit scene means anything, but I am glad that when they killed Gambit off, that they left him dead, again, at least so far. And it's even, he's being used and as a sort of a motivational thing. Like, he didn't die for nothing. Like, I love what Rogue said at the end there. Like he didn't give up his life so we could give up. He gave up his life so we could keep on fighting. And that was awesome. I love that. I love that not only did they, kill off a beloved character, but they made it mean something.
And when she was socking Bastion, she gave his name was Gambit. Remember it. I was like, oh, she said the episode title. She did it, but it wasn't like the Family Guy thing. It was just great the way she, used that motivation and his death to, really bring out a slight fury in herself.
Actually,
we're the X-Men. Oh, they said
it.
And yes,
I thought that she was quiet at that point. I really did. I thought, like, what was his name again?
Bastion.
I thought he was going to kill her. I thought that was definitely it for her. The way they've been killing people this season and severely injuring them. I thought, all right, she's next. But I was surprised she made it.
An Attack on Show just spoiled something I was going to talk about later. He said he'll be back as Apocalypse's death. Yes, he is definitely being hinted as coming back as one of the 4 horsemen of Apocalypse's death. And that will no need to be sorry, sir. Because when I saw him pick up the card, I was just like, Oh my God, we are getting the Four Horsemen of Apocalypse in this cartoon next season. That is going to be fantastic. I mean, what a great setup. You know what it reminded me of? At the end of Batman Begins, when he showed Batman the Joker card.
Yeah.
When I saw the card, I was just like, oh my God, we are seeing Gambit as the horse, one of the Four Horsemen. He's going to be Death. Who else is he going to get? Oh, this is going to be nuts. It better be 20 episodes for season 2 because they've got so much to do.
Yeah, that's just the past you're talking about. You're not even talking about Nathan in the future.
Well, not only Nathan in the future, that was Mother Asante is Rachel Summers, basically. That's Jean and Scott's daughter. And, she started the clan Asante was, she basically, it's called Family of Outsiders. Mm-hmm. And they were basically, what is, and thanks for today, please for tomorrow. And they were part of their thing was the sacred timeline should be preserved and nurtured through careful time travel.
Oh.
And when they showed that, I had to go look it up. I didn't remember all of that because that comic was from a while ago. But when I saw a Mother Asante like that, I was like, they're bringing us into the sacred timeline and things that we've gotten in the MCU. And not like, bashing you over the head with it, but slowly bringing you into this. So, man, I saw that. I thought that was just one of their best teases showing that because it's going to tie into the TVA, the MCU, probably Deadpool and Wolverine stuff going on.
Yeah.
Dave, do you remember a few weeks ago when we were doing a breakdown review of an X-Men episode and you were asking, I remember you had brought up, I wonder how they're going to tie this into the larger MCU. And we were kind of going back and forth trying to figure out how it would fit. This might be it. I didn't even know that, Keith.
That's pretty amazing that they just drop it like that. I didn't think about it until you said it.
And one of the things that Bo DeMeo had talked about, they were talking, I don't know if you guys saw this, the most watched shows on Disney Plus this year. Number 1 was the kids show. And the Olympians, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, or whatever that was called. That's like the most watched show. The second most watched show is Echo.
Really?
Wow.
And number 3, number 3 is X-Men'97. And he was talking about it, and he said, hey, it's an animated. I know not everyone watches animation, so he's like, I'm blown away by the numbers we're getting. And he said, I expect those numbers to go up too after Deadpool and Wolverine is released. And people jumped all over that, like, okay, what's going to happen in Deadpool and Wolverine that's going to bring everybody back here? And we may see something that Mother Asante sort of connection with the sacred timeline and things. We may see a live action Rachel Summers in Deadpool and Wolverine hearkening back to this.
What if, because this would be right up Ryan Reynolds, shenanigans in Deadpool movies. What if they did what we were kind of expecting to see out of Multiverse of Madness? What if they enter into the animated universe and we get like a segment of Deadpool and Wolverine animated?
That would be awesome.
It would be beyond hilarious. Cool. I don't know if they'll do it, but it would be a really cool scene.
And Attack on Show made another great point. They didn't show where Wolverine and Morph ended up. Because we know where everyone else is. We know Jean and Cyclops are in the future. And we know Magneto, Professor X, Nightcrawler, Rogue ended up in the very past. But we did never see Wolverine and Morph.
What about Jubilee? Where'd she end up?
Oh, she was in the past too.
No, her and what's his name were back on Earth. They were fine.
Oh, that's right. You're right, because they went down way before. You're right.
Yeah. Sunspot. Yeah, because she fell out, he flew out, caught her, and I guess entered the atmosphere with no problem.
Yes. And Attack on Show did say Deadpool was off limits for X-Men'97, and maybe the movie already had a plan. And that's after that comment, I definitely, him saying, more watches after Deadpool and Wolverine, I definitely think that is the case.
That'd be awesome.
Because they're going to get some more minutes out of me, because I'm definitely watching this entire first season again, because
I
need to.
I had to watch
Okay.
this episode again today just because it blew me away. The only thing that I wish out of it, and this isn't really a dig at it, I wish it was longer. I expected them to take a season finale and give it more what it's due. I expected them to give us at least 40 minutes or an hour.
Yeah. Well, they gave you 39, including credits.
And that post credit scene, which I still, man, that whole, just going back to that for a minute, I had to write down what he said. I turned on closed captions so I could understand what he said. He said, "So much pain, my children, so much death,"
Yeah.
when he was picking up the card. Definitely insinuating that Gambit will be, death, which is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And then, not only that, we can go back to the show, but we had so many cameos in this.
Yes.
I wrote them all down so I wouldn't forget. We got Silver Samurai again. We got Captain America and Iron Man, and it was the Iron Man armor from the 90s animation, which was a nice
Yep.
touch. We got Daredevil. We got Cloak and
Mm-hmm.
Dagger. We got Doctor Strange. We got the Black Panther, King T'Chaka, not T'Challa. We got Omega Red, Crimson Dynamo, and the Winter Guard. We got Psylocke with Alpha Flight. Morph transformed into Mr. Fantastic in that final battle. And then,
Specifically the Mr. Fantastic that was in the Spider-Man Secret Wars crossover, because there were like three different versions of Mr. Fantastic during the 90s animation.
yep. And then the biggest one that I thought was Peter Parker standing alongside Mary Jane Watson. Which, for
Yes.
those of you that don't know, the Spider-Man series, ended on a cliffhanger after Secret Wars and Spider Wars. And basically, Madam Web telling Peter that to find Mary Jane, she was stranded in another reality, and they just left it at that. So seeing them together,
So y'all remember that awesome animated movie from Sony? We saw it about a year or so ago. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, I heard of
yeah,
that one.
That kind of ties into what was going on with the Spider-Man animated series at that time. The Green Goblin had stolen the Spot's device that opened up wormholes, and Mary Jane basically pulled a Gwen Stacy, but they couldn't, because they couldn't kill people in 90s animation. She fell into one of those wormholes. And then later on, towards the end, she supposedly came back. She just kind of showed up out of nowhere. But it turned out she was a water clone that split itself off of Hydro Man. Is that what he's called?
yeah, Hydro Man, yep.
Yeah. It split off of Hydro Man. And her and Peter got married, not realizing that she didn't know she was a clone. He didn't know that she was. And then she ended up like evaporating in front of him. And so he had to seek out Madam Web to try and, find Mary Jane. And that's where we get, if you guys have ever seen that video clip, Mary Jane! That's him screaming in anguish trying to find her. And yeah, I am glad. It brought a little tear to my eye. I looked deep within and I found child Doug and I said, "Hey, buddy, it's gonna be okay." He found Mary Jane.
That's right. Now, Tag on Show is saying Spider-Man ended in 98. This is taking place in 97. But Bo DeMeo did say this was Peter Parker and Mary Jane after he found her, and Madam Web's thing was fulfilled. So maybe this was prior to them hopefully giving a green light to Spider-Man 98. But, I mean, he did.
Speaking of dates, did you see the little scene right before Peter and Mary Jane in the car?
Remind me.
No.
There was a radio station that appeared, and
Oh
it
yeah,
said,
1998.
"Oh, it's in 1996,
1996.3 or something like that.
.06."
0.06.
Yes, and that was supposed to stand for June 1996. And I had to look up and see if that meant something, because that was very odd looking for a radio station. I've never
Right.
seen any radio station, be 1996, .06. And so I'm like, okay, what the hell is this? And it turns out that was the very first appearance of Onslaught.
Really?
Yep, that issue released.
And that And for those of you, we talked about it last week. Onslaught is when Charles Xavier took over Magnus's mind, and they kind of intertwined and became Onslaught, which is an amalgamation between Xavier and Magneto.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we talked about it last week that Onslaught is definitely going to show up. It doesn't look like season 2 now, perhaps, since looks like we already got the big bad kind of lining up with the mid-credit scene. But I definitely think we are still going to see Onslaught at some point, and that is where I think we may see the Phoenix Force come back, because Onslaught is such a major force. It would take so much to fight it off. But once again, we talked last week, and I said, I see a lot of things happening. I see Onslaught maybe coming in, being a multiversal threat, and it's going to take the X-Men and a bunch of other heroes to fight them off. And seeing all those cameos lining up, I'm like, they are certainly putting in the effort to set that up. So we may get, I still think they're going to do it. They're somehow going to line up this major crossover event between all the animated shows with a multiversal threat of Onslaught, lining it up with Secret Wars and Kang and everything else going on. And if they pull that off, man, kudos to you, Marvel Studios, because that's going to be tough to do. But it looks like they're definitely trying to set it up, at least to me.
Yeah, let me try and get some clicks. I'm going to get us some views. That whole Onslaught situation with all these people, it's so woke. Okay, there we go.
You know what though? I was never a big fan. To me, the best thing that happened, Onslaught, I did not like that run. It was not, in my opinion, a great comic book run.
I tried reading the comic, once I found out what it was, and I was bored pretty quick.
Yeah, it was not good. But the best thing that came out of it is because most of the heroes disappeared at the end of it, like taking him out. And that's where the Thunderbolts series started, where Zemo brought a bunch of villains and said, let's pretend to be heroes and secretly take over the world. They won't know. And that Thunderbolts run was so good, and it happened because all the other heroes were gone. So they stepped up, hey, we're the new heroes. We'll help you out. We'll do all this and help everybody. And they were secretly trying to take over the world. And that, I love that Thunderbolts run. And if we get something out of that, because we get an Onslaught animated thing, I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
Just please, Bo DeMayo, whoever is going to be running the show then, please do a better job on Onslaught than the comics. I beg. You couldn't do worse. That would be
I mean, they did great with Bastion. Bastion from the comics was kind of sucky. So they did Bastion better. Well, now, that is something that I am still concerned about. The fact that I don't know the fate of Bo DeMayo, if that makes any sense. Since he was exited from the show, if you will. I don't know if he's going to have anything to do with the ongoing seasons. From what I understand, he already turned in notes for season 2, but he didn't fully write it, to my knowledge.
I heard he wrote all of season 2.
Oh, he did write it all already? Okay, good.
He was beginning season 3 when this happened, but Dave and I were talking about it before the stream a little bit. I mean, he has nothing bad to say about Marvel, Disney, anybody else. All he does is hype up this show. He answers questions from people. He talks about it. And that's good. Yeah. And I'm like, could this be another James Gunn situation where he's like, okay, you know what, you guys think you need to fire me? I don't think it was justified. I'm not going to make a big stink, but let me see what I can do to try to get my job back. And he's doing the right thing.
They need to, because his show is so good, and I don't think it would work without him. Because you can tell the man has done his research. He knows his stuff. He knows his X-Men, and I don't think it would be as good without him.
He's definitely trimmed all the fat. It's always right to the point. He shows. That's why I'm amazed that they got so much. How could they do so much in one episode? He just, cuts right to the point. It's amazing. How can they let him go? I don't know.
So Attack on Show asks, makes you wonder what happened. From what I understand, this hasn't been verified because, nobody's really been public about it. But from what I have read going around on the internet, it's because he had an OnlyFans that he refused to take down.
And Dave and I were talking about that. I knew he had one, and that could have been the reason. And he hasn't taken it down, and I don't think he should. I mean,
I don't think he should either. I mean, man can do. You can tell that he obviously. So if you've looked at his Twitter, I'm sorry, at his X.
Twitter.
If you look at it, the man takes care of his body, all right? He works out, he is proud of his body, and he takes plenty of pictures. That's fine. Let him. I don't see what the issue is. You know, Disney needs to stop worrying about, but the children.
Children can't get OnlyFans accounts, so it's not a problem. And yeah, if that's really what it was, bring him back. Let him keep working on this because it's obviously a passion project for him, and he does a great job on it. You know, Dave talked about no fat in the episode, and sometimes when you don't get any fat, it feels too rushed. But this doesn't at all. They are jam-packing this full of content, and it seems perfectly paced in every situation. I can't get over how well it's done. No show that I can think of has been, outside of the Motendo with Mojo, has been this good. There's always an episode where you're like, you know what, that was all right, or that was pretty good. You know,
if I could, I'm gonna just lightly tap on the brakes real quick.
Uh-oh.
So, here is my teeny tiny complaint about that. I think we really should have gotten a Tolerance's Extinction 3 and 4. I think we should have gotten an extra episode because while I really did enjoy this episode, to me, it felt like there was something missing between Charles and Magnus. I know that they were attempting to like get through it pretty quick, but I think it deserved an episode to hash it out a bit more because I'm still defending Magneto. I'm still gonna be on that because watching these episodes, you know, as many times as I have so far, going back and watching them, I'm still gonna sound like a broken record. I'm still gonna repeat that I think Magneto was right. I think the decision that he made, it may have been rash, but I think it was the only correct decision. And while, yes, he did need to eventually restore the power, you can tell that even Scott was fighting with the decision. Even he was like, you know, trying to slow down the professor, like, hey, you've got to give them more time. Like they've got to do this. And, you know, Professor X like, Magnus, you need to listen to reason. You've got to turn the power back on. It's like, at least like acknowledge that he did a good thing. Like, don't just jump to the point like, oh, you're just a warmonger. Oh, you're being a villain. It's like, no.
Well, he did kind of talk about that. He did say, you know, he was like, what are the people going to think about you know, their opinion of mutants is going to be even worse because of this.
To me,
I mean, I definitely respect your opinion. I didn't see it that way.
On one hand, I am glad that they're not making Magneto the bad guy again. That's so overdone, and I'm glad they're not doing that. I am glad that, you know, he's going to continue to work with the X-Men. I just think it deserved its own episode rather than just a portion of this one. I think they could have extended out a little bit, and actually talked it over because, like, Charles just got back from having bird sex, so like he just got back. Okay. Him and Magneto need to sit down a little bit longer and kind of hash things out. That's my opinion.
They didn't have time.
I just want more X-Men.
No, me too. Don't get me wrong. If they said they were having a bonus 11th episode, I would not complain. But you know, they were pressed for time, especially once Asteroid M, you know, was attacked with the Magneto protocols. You know, it would have been stolen from Age of Ultron. Why don't you get some good material there, X-Men? And I'm kidding, obviously. The Asteroid M thing falling was done in the X-Men comics well before Age of Ultron. But, you know, his power was needed, or we were going to have an Extinction level event on Earth, which is what, you know, Bastion wanted. And so it was great to see him. And of course, he's not going to get any credit for it. You're not going to be like, you know, Magneto saved us all in the end by stopping Asteroid M and basically put all of them at risk and sent them, you know, spinning throughout time. They'll be like, remember when he took out the power? I can't believe what a bad guy Magneto is.
Well, that is something that that's another thing that I'm glad they're doing with this series is they're making it so it isn't always a supervillain that's the bad guy. A lot of the time it's just people. Like, the president deciding, well, gotta nuke the asteroid. Sorry guys, it didn't work.
Hey, listen, don't do this. Don't do this. My poll, President, your poll numbers will go up. Let's nuke asteroid M.
Right. And Captain America like, oh, no, don't do that, man.
Now, speaking of Cap, Attack on Show wants to know how long it took Cap to find his shield.
Open road.
all of Extinction or Tolerance's Extinction episodes 1 and 2. God damn it, Rogue.
And I was just happy. One of my favorite X-Men outside of Nightcrawler is Colossus. So when we got that scene with Bishop and Forge, Forge had all the pictures up on the wall, like missing, presumed dead stuff, and Bishop shows up. Colossus's picture was front and center, and I'm like, oh yeah, we're getting Colossus as part of the, I don't know what even the Today timeline X-Men team, because we'll have the past X-Men team, we'll have the future X-Men team, and then obviously we'll have the present X-Men team. So I'm hoping we see more Colossus, because it even looked, like you guys know, one of my favorite artists, especially back in the 70s and 80s, is John Byrne. And that looked like John Byrne's Colossus that was there. That was so well done.
Now, what did that poster board mean when it said that Wanda and Pietro were off-world?
Yeah, I was about to ask that same question.
That is an excellent question, and I don't know the answer.
Are they
All
on
right.
Planet Hope?
Get in the comments. Everybody. Let us know. What does that mean? What are we missing? Was there something that we don't know about? Or do you have some speculations? Give us your theory paloozas.
Because I definitely, it's nothing that has happened in any of the animated series that I know of. So it could be something they have planned for season 2.
And they even paused on it. You didn't swing by it and just like, oh no, it was paused on that part of the screen
Long enough that you could, like, oh.
Yeah.
My first initial reaction was, in the comics, Quicksilver was married to one of the Inhumans, Crystal. They had a baby. But we saw the blue side of the moon in the fight with Bastion off Asteroid M, and there was no Inhumans there. So I don't know where else they would be, but my first thought was they were with the Inhumans, because Quicksilver, married into the royal family in the comics, so maybe they were off with them. But we saw the blue spot, the blue side of the moon in the fight, and it didn't look like anybody was there. So I don't know where they're at. I need to think on it a little bit and see if I can figure something out, because it doesn't.
Well, you want my theory?
Yes, please, of course.
So
What's next?
Yes, this is absolutely true. This is verified. Not your status quo. Never wrong. This is our 100% true theory. Quicksilver broke up with his Inhuman girlfriend, but he found out that them bird aliens got that good. And so he went off into space to go and get him some bird alien, and Wanda went after him and be like, Pietro, no! If this world or something, or you have to help me.
I think it was Agatha all along.
It definitely was.
Oh boy, can't wait for that show. It's gonna be a show.
Just so you know, just to go into tangent time for a minute, and then remind me, I want to talk about Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch again. A little tangent time. The Agatha Twitter handle is teasing something for tomorrow, and a lot of people are thinking it is going to be a trailer for Agatha All Along. So I know Doug will be tuning in. He'll probably be creating multiple shorts based off his love of this property and how much he's been anticipating it coming out. But we're getting something Agatha related tomorrow. It'd be a trailer or a piece of artwork or a poster. I don't know, but something is coming tomorrow.
All right.
And now back to our regularly scheduled X-Men'97 talk. You guys did see Wanda and Pietro on that ship in Magnus's head with Rogue and Thing. They were standing off in the back. So they were shown in this episode, not just in the pictures where they were said to be off-world, but in Magnus's mind. They were on that ship during that episode. So we saw them. I definitely think they are going to play a role in season 2, especially with the Scarlet Witch's powers to, warp reality and warp, probability.
Well, he does owe child support.
A whole lot of it. And friend of the court does not play. Man, I is there anything else that we need to talk about for this show?
Yeah, there was one thing. The very last line of the show cracked me up. I watched the show twice.
Oh, with Beast.
Both times it cracked me up. When they're looking down and they see the town, they're like, "Oh dear."
See, I was not happy with that line.
No?
Because
What's the matter?
his catchphrase in the comic is, "Oh, my stars and garters." He should have said, "Oh, my stars and garters." That would have fit better. And I'm glad you reminded me of that, because I heard it and I was like, do these people
What the
not know
hell?
who the Beast is? What is going on, my friends? Come on.
Golden opportunity. Just ruined.
Just ruined. This went from a 10 to a 4.2.
Oh, God.
To me, it raised it up. Cracked me up.
An
You
attack
raised
on-
up your stars and garters?
Yeah, that's definitely what it did. It didn't drop.
An Attack on Show said, "I'm glad they kept Apocalypse's voice. Was always a fan of the way he sounded." Yes, I agree. That was, they really brought Apocalypse to life in the in the original run of the animated series with that voice, and very glad they kept it. I cannot wait to see him just with his 4 horsemen destroying stuff. I mean, the world's going to be utterly destroyed by the time Onslaught shows up. After Bastion, Mr. Sinister, and Apocalypse are just trashing X-Men everywhere they go. They're going to be like, "We just want to take some classes at the local high school. Can we go to X-Men Evolution for a bit? We're exhausted. Please stop. No more villains."
See, you'd think they'd have to wrap up the whole prehistoric one before they get to the future, because that will affect the future, won't it?
If they're on the same timeline.
That's true.
You're just going to have the X-Men beating up dinosaurs.
You know what I mean? Like, what if they're doing something in the future part, what, 3950 AD, and they do something in the 3000 BC episode that affects something they do in the future episode? That'd be kind of neat. But
See, I don't think it'll affect something in the
An
future.
Attack on Show? No. Bad.
What did he say? Think of time like spaghetti noodles. Yes, that's right. But Dave,
Maybe
that's
think
how I
of
think of Reed
Flash.
Richards.
I don't
I
think
think of Reed
something.
Richards like spaghetti noodles.
I don't think something they do in the past is going to affect the far future. I think it's going to affect the present, because we did see a young and Sabanur Apocalypse there,
Yeah.
and maybe something they do with him or to him, or something. Charles is going to flash those bedroom eyes he usually saves for Magneto, and it's going to change, and we may see something they do with a young Apocalypse affect the present day Apocalypse and how things are going at that point. I mean, that was very deliberate, showing a young him 3000 BC and then seeing him present day in the ruins of Genosha.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, before he got all of his techno enhancements.
Yes. Techno. Bum, 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 bada.
I gotta tell you though, even though I love the theme song to this show, do you know what always goes through my mind when it very first starts? It's the da-da-da-da-da-da. I think of Whitney Houston's song,
Which one?
"I'm Your Baby Tonight." Da-da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da. That's how that goes too. It just cracks me.
It does sound
Well-
similar. Thank you for putting that in my head, Dave. You've now ruined.
Yeah, I don't know any Whitney Houston songs, by the way. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Dave, as some of you may know, is also the
You're
number
allowed to
one-
like Whitney Houston.
He is the president of the Whitney Houston fan club. Do you
Most of
guys
these
do? You, and Doug's gonna yell at me, but do you know what Whitney Houston's favorite coordination is? And I.
Wait, where was the dad joke requested?
Yeah, exactly. You're just giving them away for free, you little commie.
All right, well, now you gotta do it, Doug.
Oh my God! Look, someone just KJ Richter 7 just cashed in a dad joke. Thank you, KJ
Oh,
Richter
how
7.
convenient.
That was very nice of
okay.
you.
That guy's on it. He's subscribed tonight. He's active in the chat. What else do you want?
He's probably our biggest
Ban him.
Yeah, let's get the ban hammer down.
You know what? I
He's
do want to bring
rubber
up
band.
one more thing that I meant to mention earlier, but you know how my brain works. So earlier, when you were talking about all of the different cameos
Squirrel!
that we got,
Oh, sorry.
exactly. That is pretty much what happened. I started thinking about Captain America's shield, and then I started thinking about, well, I wonder where it was, and then I saw what Attack on Show said, and I'm like, well, yeah, I wonder how long it did take him to find it. Oh, I wonder where he did end up finding it, and wandered off. But anyway, when you were talking about all the cameos that we got to see, not only in this episode, but so far in like the past couple of episodes, I think normally when they start shoving in a bunch of cameos, I would have complained because usually when they do that, it's pretty cringy and shoehorned in. This felt natural and it actually felt like part of a wider world. And I think it improves X-Men 97. It makes it less claustrophobic. And it reminds you this is a larger world, a larger universe whenever we get to see all of these other characters doing their own thing, being able to see T'Chaka, being a king and taking a part in, these world matters about what to do about an asteroid, hurtling towards Earth. Um, Seeing Peter and Mary Jane just like walking around downtown New York, and I think there was Flash Thompson there too.
He was behind
Seeing
him, yeah.
Daredevil fighting crime and unfortunately stopping those poor people from taking their TV home that they just purchased illegally. Daredevil, that was kind of mean of him.
How dare
But yeah,
you.
just kind of seeing everybody living their lives in the world instead of it being like a really poorly shoehorned in cameo. It felt natural and it felt like it belonged. Just it felt like part of the larger universe, and I really liked that.
That's
Pause to
something they
that.
can't do in live action. You just can't do that because they're not going to throw Charlie Cox on there.
They could. Oh, and we've got Doctor Strange performing surgery using magic.
Oh, I brought up Doctor Strange. But,
Yeah.
Attack on Show put it felt all encompassing. It did. It expanded the world without needing to do too much.
So Attack on Show, just the police.
Yeah. No fun police. Yeah, just the normal police. But you know what I thought about when all that was happening too is, remember how many rumors were going around that during Infinity War we were going to see like the Defenders fighting street level stuff while the Avengers were handling the other stuff? That's what this felt
What
like.
happened with that?
Yeah, it never happened. But this felt like that. Like it would have been much harder in live action, of course. Getting Charlie Cox and all those guys, and one day we'll get a Iron Fist, in live action. But this I was like, oh, this is so cool. This is what Infinity War should have done, and didn't.
Yeah.
And it was quick, it was brief, but it got it in. And I mean, I was shocked. I wasn't surprised seeing Spider-Man or Peter Parker. I wasn't surprised seeing Daredevil, Cap, Iron Man. I was a little shocked that they put in Doctor Strange. I thought that was a nice touch because he's probably going to play a big role in all the multiversal stuff. But Cloak and Dagger, seeing Alpha Flight again. Alpha Flight is a great team, and I've always enjoyed them. Once again, they were brought about during the Byrne Claremont run of X-Men, so we saw them in the initial run of the animated series. And seeing them again here with Psylocke, I'm like, I don't ever remember Psylocke ever working with Alpha Flight. We need to see that story right now. 10 episodes, Psylocke and Alpha Flight. We need it. And we saw the Winter Guard with the Crimson Dynamo, and it was probably more because Omega Red was there. But seeing Crimson Dynamo and Darkstar and the rest of the Winter Guard, man, I was just geek. You know, Attack on Show had a great.
Yes.
Did you see his little TikTok where it just kept showing Leonardo DiCaprio going and pointing the meme after every he would show like, oh, there's Captain America and Iron Man pointing at the screen, and then there's Daredevil, there's Cloak and Dagger, and it was almost, I was getting repetitive motion syndrome from like pointing and jumping every cameo. I was like, yes. They started off slow with Silver Samurai, where I was like, okay, maybe they have plans for him, but then we were getting everybody. What a great way to really make that world feel much larger.
It did. It did it right. This series has done a lot of things right.
Yes, sir.
So, do we have any other any sort of theories or any what's next to sees for season 2, or do we want to hold off on those?
I was thinking, I talked to the few I had, but I want to think about them a little more. Maybe Sunday we can get together and get a little non-streamy video for what's next for X-Men'97, if we can put some good thoughts together, because I think there's a lot out there that we could think of to what's coming or what's next. Why didn't I just say what? Someone used it first before it was stolen. Go ahead, Dave.
Well, no, I was gonna. This is totally a tangent, but I had heard, and I'm trying to look it up so I can make a accurate statement, but maybe it's just a rumor. So I'll just throw it out there. We'll just call it a rumor right now. Jessica Henwick was going to play Iron Fist.
Well, she got the Iron Fist at the end of the Iron Fist series on Netflix.
Okay.
So
that means moving forward, she's going to be Iron Fist?
Could be. I don't think anything has been confirmed about that, but the rumor was that she was going to play Iron Fist in the MCU.
Okay. So I'm not making it up. Okay? There it is, folks.
That, once again, not confirmed, but definitely a rumor that had been percolating around quite a bit when Charlie Cox came back, and then we found out the Punisher was coming back, and still rumors of Kristen Ritter coming back as Jessica Jones. So
oh yeah, she was just active on Twitter recently talking about, or kind of vaguely saying that maybe something was in the works.
And she did have purple hair in one of it, and so people started thinking Jewel, the Jewel persona of Jessica Jones, where she like had a superhero costume and flew around trying to do the non, what is the word you would say for Jessica Jones? The non-angry version of Jessica Jones.
I took anger management. I'm all better now. I'm going to punch that villain.
She's not an SOS pet anymore.
Hey, so, I only had 2 murders this week. I'm doing good.
They deserved it, but I could have been 5. Keeping the number down.
Jessica Jones, you're welcome.
All right, should we rate this episode and the series as a whole? Or the season as a whole, I should say, because this is not the series.
Yes.
We are getting season 2.
Sure. This episode, a 10. I didn't see it. Yeah, look at me. I'm giving it a 10.
Oh my God, when have you ever given anything a 10?
I think I gave Andor a 10, didn't I? I think it was a 9.
I don't know.
I think it was high 9s. I don't think it was a 10.
Well, that's this episode, okay? So don't go into too much shock.
Hey, I'm not
This
arguing.
the episode. It was a 10. I watched it twice. I loved the development of Professor X and Eric, talking everything out. And even though he knew if he left them there and he lost his mind, he'd be gone. Magneto be gone. He went in there and saved him anyway. And he didn't care about making him a good guy at the end of it. He just wanted him to be Magneto. That's why they're brothers. That's why, that going on with the rest of the episode going on, that made it added another level of depth for me. So all the way up to the end, like that last scene where they're looking down the town, he says, "Oh dear," that cracked me up both times. I loved it. It was a great episode. I'm gonna give it a 10. And oh, you want to go?
Yeah, do
Want
season
to go?
two. Or do you want to do
Season is,
each of us with the episode, then do each of us with the season?
yeah.
Okay,
Is that what you want to do?
that's fine.
All right.
That'll work. So
Well, then I am also going to give this episode a 10. It is not difficult to do. This pretty much the entire Tolerance's Extinction, these 3 episode arcs have been phenomenal. Pretty much everything in the series has been phenomenal, but this episode really, really, I mean, just did everything right. I can do nothing but really sing praises. And the fact that my chief complaint is I want more of it, I think that kind of speaks volumes about how good this is. And if you out there, if you aren't watching that, well, first off, I don't know why you're watching this stream if you haven't watched the show. But if for whatever reason you are not watching X-Men 97 because it's an animation, get that out of your head because it's good. And there are certain things that just are portrayed a little bit better sometimes in animation. There are things that I don't think they would have been able to pull off as well in live action. Going back to a comment you had made, Keith, when we were talking about the Phoenix pulling the DNA literally out of Mr. Sinister, like how ruthless that was. I mean, it is not often that we get on screen a good portrayal of the Phoenix. And so, once again, to finally get it done right in animation, it was nice to see. And yeah, it was excellent. Easy 10.
we are in lockstep on this because well, except for Beast saying "oh dear" instead of "oh my stars and garters." It definitely
So 4.2, obviously.
Definitely get a 3.1. I've gotten angry about it as times. No, but I mean, just amazed that they could take so much in so little time, like Dave was talking about. We got 39 minutes with credits and everything else, and it felt like a good hour and 10 minutes worth of material. It didn't feel rushed. It didn't feel weird pacing in any way. The music was fantastic. The voice acting was fantastic. The animation was incredible. The way all of the stories interacted and met and came together, and all of the characters staying true to themselves throughout it. And like Dave said, we saw Magneto kind of take Rogue and Sunspot away, but then when they were fighting at the end, as the greater threat came about, they joined right back up. And it wasn't anything like, you're wrong. They knew what they had to do. And I just can't wait for season 2 because we got so much. We got people in the past. We got people in the future. We got Apocalypse in the past. We got Apocalypse in the future looking like he's putting his 4 horsemen together. We have Bishop and we have Forge kind of trying to figure out where the X-Men are and maybe putting together more of a team. We're not sure what Jubilee and Sunspot are doing in the present, but we know they're there. So much to work on, so much material to go on. And they have just, so many times you hear people have written themselves in a corner and they got to do something silly to get out of it. But this was never the case with this. They wrote it so it just flowed perfectly into bigger and better things. And I cannot wait to see those bigger and better things. And please don't do an Invincible and make us wait 3 years.
Oh yeah.
So because we're gonna get Apocalypse playing, such a huge role in season 2, at least it seems that way. Do you think that means we're going to see Mystique come back?
I do.
I hope so.
Especially with all of, the X-Men and Magneto thought to be dead. I think she is definitely going to come back. And, Attack on Show said only issue was the Motendo half episode. You're still kind of puzzled how that was put in when every other minute of the show was so good. That's exactly what we have all said. That was the only part where I was watching. It was like, what? Why are we watching this?
It felt so out of place. This episode, it kind of told
Factored.
us, see, we put it there for a reason. I still think it was dumb, but it did serve a minor purpose. I just think it could have been shorter, and I think they should have given us more time with Storm.
Yeah, more on the life-death story.
Yeah. It would have been nice if that would have been the 20 minutes, and then you gave us just 10 minutes of Motendo. Or something.
Or 7 minutes.
or an entire
Reverse-
episode of
reverse.
Life Death.
Now, as far as the season goes, I won't be as generous, but that's just me. Uh, just referring to that episode that we did, and
Mhm.
you know, besides that, I really can't think of anything bad that I can say about the series. The whole series so far has just been amazing. The way it flows, the amount of ground they covered, the amount of story that they're able to tell in 34 minutes. I'm going to give it an 8.5. That's yeah. Yeah, I had the other episodes that I was rating 7 earlier in the year. And then I missed a few with you guys, but I still watched them obviously. And
Obviously.
it definitely went up on a trajectory like a mountain. They're not, you know, they're not all as good as this episode here. But I'm gonna get I think 8.5 is fair for me.
That's good. Dave, I think I'm going to be with you on that one. I also think I'm going to give this season an 8.5. Mostly for the Motendo thing, but the other part of it is just there are a few things that I wish they would have expanded on a little bit more or just kind of let breathe a bit more. And for instance, again, just like the whole life death situation, I think that they should have given a bit more time to Storm's loss of powers. One of the things that we praised constantly about this final season of The Bad Batch is how they were treating the deal with oh my gosh, sniper guy.
Crosshair.
Crosshair.
Crosshair, thank you. Don't know why his name left my brain. How they were treating Crosshair's injury, his mental block, the thing that was like making his handshake as trauma, and I like how they were stretching it out, really letting it breathe, letting it kind of sit there, letting us, I think it helped in developing his character, and I think it would have done Storm a bit of justice to just let it breathe a little bit. And I understand that, they had a short schedule, obviously maybe somebody at Disney, somebody at Marvel wasn't sure if this was going to work. Maybe they were given a limitation. Look, you can only have this many episodes. They can only be this long. And Beau DeMayo, to his credit, he did what he could with it. But I still think that it deserved to have more. It deserved to have more episodes. It should have had, 13, 15 episodes where they could have let some of these storylines just breathe a little bit. I'm not saying that they were bad. I just think that they deserved more. I think we could have used a bit more time with Storm, and I think we could have used a bit more time with Charles and Magneto hashing things out. But otherwise, it was an amazing season, and I cannot wait for season 2. And I hope the writing continues to be as good and the storytelling continues to be as good as it was in this season. So yeah, 8.5 for me for the season 1.
See, I didn't think, like, if we had extra episodes, I wouldn't want them to linger on things they already did. Should Life Death have been a little bit longer? Maybe, but I'm not going to complain. Did the Charles and Magnus thing in his mind, did they get it done quick? Well, yeah, they needed to. I mean, I'm just impressed with the amount of storytelling we got, how well it was written. I mean, one of the best parts for me is how much attention to detail they put into the intro. Like, the hair
Yeah.
with Jean Grey changed when she went from Madeline Pryor to Jean Grey. Gambit, after he passed, he was no longer in the opening. Magneto was no longer in the opening, after the Genosha episode. Professor X, when he came back, he was in. Nightcrawler was in. So it was like something to watch. Like, you paid attention to it. They're like, what are they going to put in this time? Are we going to see Cyclops' suit with the full, headgear on?
Mm-hmm.
Or what's going to go on? And everything they did. I mean, the intro music is great. All of the music for the series was good. All the voice acting was good. Even bringing back the original Jubilee for that Motendo episode, I thought was the right choice, and I thought it worked. And even though the Motendo episode was not executed well and wasn't enjoyable, I don't think 10, 15 minutes of this whole season is going to bring it down under a 9. So I'm going to give this a 9.5 because I don't think we have seen a season outside of maybe Andor, that was this good consistently throughout the season. I couldn't have hoped for a better season. This exceeded all expectations, and I only hope they can keep this quality up in season 2 and however many seasons they actually get throughout this, because I'm not complaining. Was there, was Motendo bad? Yes. Was there some things that maybe could have been done a little better? Sure, but man, I'm not going to nitpick this series because they did a great job. Oh, yeah. And Tack on Show said, I'm curious, though, how Storm getting her powers back grew her hair out perfectly. Yes. For those of you that don't know, whenever you can conduct electricity through your body, it tends to grow.
I was about to say the same thing.
I don't have that power. I'm not Lightning Lad, so it'd be nice.
Also, she always keeps a spare can of hairspray in her costume. I mean, late 80s, early 90s, had to have the hairspray.
Volume. It has a lot of volume.
Right.
Oh, but
she's lightning in one hand. She's got the blow dryer. One moment, X-Men, I'll be right with you.
She's like, I got a chia head now, so.
And the one thing I forgot to mention too during the episode, the chart that Bishop and Forge were looking at reminded me of the cover to Days of Future Past, where it showed like slain, captured, and all of that. It was definitely an homage to Days of Future Past with how they had that all set up. Little touches like that just make my little nerd heart sing. Because they read
in that
the same...
scene, did you hear the radio? How they mentioned that President Kelly was dropping in the polls?
Yes.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess when you try to nuke a meteor falling to Earth and it doesn't work, it doesn't help you your re-election campaign.
You made the X-Men save us. Dang you, President Kelly. All right. Well, sounds like we're good on X-Men. We'll definitely try to get some what's next topics together to maybe do a little video. Not a stream Sunday night, but you'll see it coming out on YouTube later. Should we talk? The only other thing I can think about talking tonight is what we learned from the Disney upfronts the other day.
Oh yeah, from the what was it? It's not Disney Plus Day, was it?
It's Disney upfronts.
Wait, Disney Upfront?
Yeah, like all of them do it. Amazon Prime did it. That's why we got the Rings of Power. HBO. It's like their season. All the channels, kind of. It's like their little. This is what's coming in the fall, y'all.
Sure.
But
you get started. I will be right back. Give me one moment. But go ahead and talk about the stuff.
Yeah. So we found out that the Agatha All Along is going to have a 2-episode premiere on September 18th.
Yay!
I know. Yes, Doug is very excited about that. I'm really hoping it's good. They were talking about it. Catherine Hahn was talking how it's almost all practical effects, and a lot of stuff they're doing. They confirmed that we're getting the Witch's Road. Which was part of it.
Did she really learn how to use magic?
Did she learn how to use magic?
There's a mysterious voice coming out of Doug's microphone.
That's crazy. But
you said it was all the practical effects.
Oh, and we're getting Aubrey Plaza, which if you ever watch Legion, she is, or Parks and Rec, she's amazing. So I'm excited for that. This could be, even though Dave made a great point in Slack, he said, if they're trying to build on the momentum of WandaVision came out 4 years ago, so it might be a little late for that.
Yeah.
But
they might have missed the boat on that.
A bit. But it's still
How many musical numbers do you think they've recorded for this?
My gosh.
I hope they learn their lesson from that post-credit scene of Hawkeye. Because I will never forget.
So at least 12. Got it.
Ever since
they're all going to be bangers.
Ever since Agatha All Along was such a big hit, man, they were like, let's get some music in here. No thanks. But we'll see. I'm trying to keep hopefully optimistic and that we get some good stories. Obviously we're getting forget the actor's name playing Billy, the magic user son of the Scarlet Witch, which someone said it's going to be a big reveal at the end of the season that he's the son of the Scarlet Witch. But I don't know anyone who's watching this show that hasn't read the comics and have known that for 20 years. So it'll be interesting to see what they do there. And then
It'll be like when everybody guessed immediately. Oh, Agnes is Agatha Harkness. What? Everybody had the WandaVision at Disney. Were like, how did you guess?
Or Rhodey's the Skrull. No way. My heart's broken. I can't believe it.
You figured us out? Were you hiding it? Was that a big secret?
By the way, there is a rumor too that someone is going to make a cameo. Would you like to guess who?
Ralph Boner?
Yes.
Oh my God, no.
Evan Peters as Ralph Boner. And the funny thing is, the scooper who said it has said, and no, he's not going to be Quicksilver from the X-Men universe. Marvel is doubling down on that horrible joke.
On that Boner joke.
Yes.
All right.
So I hope that is not true. If we do see Evan Peters, please make his appearance in WandaVision be a multiversal thing, and he is actually the Quicksilver from the X-Men and not just some terrible joke that was made.
See, I still don't see how she could have given him super speed.
Powers. Yeah, I don't either. It doesn't. It's a plot hole.
Or he's Quicksilver.
Yes.
Or he is.
He is actually Quicksilver.
And now the other thing we got, we had been hearing rumors about Ironheart and Disney, Daredevil Born Again's release dates. Some people were saying Ironheart, it was coming out in January and October for Daredevil Born Again. But we found out at the upfronts that Daredevil Born Again is coming out March of 2025, which puts it right smack in the middle between Captain America Brave New World and Thunderbolt being released. So that's a good thing. And then Ironheart is said to be coming in late 2025, which would make me think that Armor Wars is going to be coming out in maybe early 2026 or somewhere around there.
I read a rumor, and I think I might have seen this on Twitter. Tell me if you think this is, if there's any truth to this. The rumor goes that Ironheart is going to open up with her reassembling her Ironheart armor by digging through the trash.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I
hope not, because
Wakanda for everything.
Please treat Riri Williams with some respect. Like, my God, she was a friggin' genius that impressed Tony Stark in the comics. Like, don't do that. Like, you already gave her a stupid ass costume and gave her partial screen time that made no sense in Black Panther 2. Like, what are you guys doing?
They rushed. I honestly still think that because of Chadwick Boseman's untimely death, that they rushed the Ironheart armor into that movie.
I agree.
And it was not a good decision. Very.
No.
But I hope, I like Ironheart as a character in the comics, and I hope they can portray that in this episode. And what I like about
there was also an animated feature on Disney quite a while ago that I think did her character pretty well.
And if we are getting the Hood versus Ironheart with kind of Mephisto giving the Hood sort of magical powers, kind of a science versus magic type show, there's potential there to make something interesting.
Yeah,
now,
that might be all right.
Will they? Yeah, who knows at this point? It was filmed, 3 years ago, I think? And still isn't out, which...
Now, how many musical numbers will there be in it?
13.
That's going to be the question from Doug every time now.
They are going to one-up each previous one. Daredevil is only going to have 9 in the first part of season 1. And then they're going to have 14 in the second part. So they're going to get...
And they're all Jeff Healey songs. Oh, that's a bad joke.
Oh.
That is a deep cut, Dave, and that is not appreciated. I would like to apologize to all of our blind, I would say viewers, but I don't think that's accurate. To all of our blind listeners.
Jesus, both of you.
Oh gosh,
Damn.
terrible. Now I heard Marvel was only going to put out 5 properties per year, and that includes movies and live action shows.
Correct. That is what Bob
So
Iger said.
so you just listed 4 of them. What's the 5th for next year? You think?
Well, we got Ironheart, we got Daredevil Born Again, we got Captain America Brave New World, we got Thunderbolts, and supposedly Blade is supposed to release at the end of the year, but I don't think it's going to happen because they
I have not
started filming.
heard. Did they even start? Did they finish rewriting it yet?
They did.
They did,
Supposedly
okay.
they did. No confirmation, but supposedly I forget who they got to write it, finished it, and they're happy with the write. So,
Okay.
but they're going to have to start filming that soon if they want to release it. I mean,
Right.
Fantastic Four is not releasing until 2026, and it starts filming at the end of June. So I can't imagine they're going to want to wait too long to start, production
Yeah, I
on
don't
Blade
see
to get it out.
Blade coming until 26. Then.
Which then could mean maybe that Wonder Man series will come out in 2025.
Yeah, that would butter Keith's biscuit.
Yeah, yes, that would. I'm going to
You
attack
gotta
on.
see what Attack on Show said.
I just did. Disney Plus has been doing a bang up job with all the Marvel series. No reason to be skeptical.
Oh, the sarcasm is so thick, sir.
Oh, my sarcasm meter is. But hey, there's been some good
Come
Disney
on.
Plus. I mean, Hawkeye was good, which we heard today. Supposedly, Hawkeye season 2 is coming.
Oh, okay.
Which
Really? I'd really.
So
Wow.
he is definitely
Jeremy
going to get
Renner.
back to acting then.
we don't know if Jeremy Renner will be in it.
Oh, okay. You think you'd at least make a cameo though?
You would hope so. But he is getting back
Just,
to
just
acting.
have
He
him like
is-
sitting in a chair and be like, "I'm tired, kid. Can't do it."
He could have the frozen peas on his head. Oh, I don't know if I count me out on this one.
Right.
But I mean, we have gotten some quality Disney Plus shows. I thought WandaVision was great. Both seasons of Loki.
Oh yeah.
Miss Marvel
Yeah.
was fine. Wasn't great. Oh, and yes, Attack on Show said he did film a new season of Mayor of Kingstown. So
Oh,
Maybe.
okay. I didn't know that.
Can he still do action? Is that an action show?
it is not an action show. I don't think. I've never seen it. But hopefully it'd be great to see him back as Hawkeye because, I mean, what he went through
Yeah,
and lived is
a lot.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But then he got those gems, that they put out like Moon Knight and Special Investigation, and
But Echo, I think we were all pleasantly surprised with Echo.
Yes, Echo
That's
was
true.
good. Okay.
So there
fair.
has been.
I guess there's been more good than bad, I suppose.
Yeah, Echo was good. Loki season 2 was good. Secret Invasion was wretched. Probably the worst thing we've got.
So dumb. Is that going to get a special steelbook release?
Probably. I'm getting it for
Of
both
course.
of you. I'm getting that and Rebel Moon Part 1 for both of you. Oh, She-Hulk. She-Hulk was fine. I know Dave thinks it's the worst show ever done.
She-Hulk was fine.
yeah,
Miss Marvel was fine. Moon Knight, really,
They dropped the ball on that one. It
Yep.
had potential. They
Really
really
missed
dropped
the
the
mark.
ball.
I don't know why they didn't go with him being a street level hero first and then delve
I
into the
don't
mysticism
know.
next. I will never understand that. Hawkeye was good. Loki was good. Oh, Falcon and the Winter Soldier was kind of.
I'd say that was
That was
about
another
50.
one. Lost potential with that
Yeah.
one.
It
It
was
had a
all
lot-
right.
Yeah, it was fine. It wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. But
Mhm.
man, I had higher hopes for that. I hope.
I did too, and I didn't like the last episode. It felt very rushed and unresolved.
Yep. And a lot of people think that was because of the COVID filming and
Yeah.
cutting things out with the.
Yeah, COVID might have ruined that show.
Yeah. So
They started off strong with WandaVision.
I almost forgot about mentioning the special presentations. Werewolf by Night, that was great.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that was good.
And then the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, I thought was great
That
too.
was fun. I've
Yeah.
rewatched that a couple. It's fun.
Yeah.
Everything
Everything Guardians is good though.
Oh, and he Attack on Show does say it has some action in Mayor of Kingstown, so that looks like a good sign. Oh, and Attack on Show agrees with Dave. She-Hulk was garbage.
Thank
Loki's
you.
last season was good. Yeah, I thought Loki's last season was great. I enjoyed both
I did
seasons
too.
Yeah, season
immensely.
two
I
was
really enjoyed it.
really good. Yeah.
And yes, Guardians is always a standout. Guardians Volume 3 just makes me
Just phenomenal.
just makes
I
me
really thought more people are going to die, but it was still good.
makes me think that Superman movie is going to be fantastic, and I cannot wait to see it. Even though Attack on Show made so many great memes of the suit reveal with things in the window, like
Goku.
I think he had one with Stay Puff, and that was good stuff. Attack on Show, you always do great little TikToks and stuff right as things
yeah.
come out. So such good stuff.
Yeah. Hey, if you got your links, put your links in the chat, man.
Yeah.
People got to follow you.
People
Sausage
should
links. Oh yeah, you're welcome. Just go ahead and put them on there, man.
Plug your pluggables.
I'll have to get him loaded in my Steam Deck so we can start loading them for him. 'Cause he's definitely a friend of the
idea.
show. I always look forward to his stuff. He does great reviews. If you haven't seen Attack on Show, he does great reviews of everything. He does wonderful little TikToks and shorts and stuff, which he gets totally gypped by freaking YouTube because he'll get like 2,500 views and then it just drops off like, oh, we're not showing yours anymore. We are the YouTubes. But he's a wonderful
Hey,
YouTuber.
by the way, guys, you mentioned what we might talk about next week. We won't be on next week. We'll be at watching Furiosa.
No, we're talking Sunday night about possibly getting together and doing an old school video for what's next for X-Men 97. But yes, next Thursday is Furiosa, a Mad
The
Max
theater
saga.
review.
I'm looking forward to that.
Me too.
I don't know anything about that universe, and when I see that world, when I see it, I want to know. I want to want more. So I hope it delivers.
Have
Do
you-
like Anya Taylor-Joy?
Have you seen Mad Max Fury Road?
No.
If you can, try to watch it before we go. That movie was
Is it
one
definitely
of
a
my
sequel to that?
favorites. This is a prequel to it. Furiosa
prequel.
is older in it. Oh my God! Are any of you going to Motor City Comic Con this weekend? I forgot it was this weekend.
Oh my
Oh,
God, I
I-
forgot it was this weekend.
I will
I
try.
have a gig tonight, tomorrow, and the next night. So no, I can't go.
I can't. We're celebrating my dad's birthday.
Dang it! Are you? I
You
take
know
it you're
what?
going
We
to
mentioned this like a month ago.
Yeah, it totally slipped my mind.
It slipped my
Yeah.
mind too. Man, I cannot believe I forgot. Wow, drop the ball.
Hey, isn't Rob going to see Deadpool with us?
If he wants to.
Well, now that you're on there, I guess you can answer it. Did he want to go see it with us? I thought we had that planned out because it was the only Marvel movie this
Oh,
year.
he said, "I'm in if you'll have me." 100%.
Dude, that'd be
Yes.
sweet.
That would be
Hell
fantastic.
yeah.
And I'm going to see because my son always wants to. He's always talking. Hey, when is that comic thing coming again? I want to go again. So I'm going to see. I don't think we have any plans this weekend, so I'll try to bring Sully down on Saturday, but no promises.
Do you still have some of our cards?
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. Take them with you.
Definitely pass them out. Maybe take some video footage of God. And I don't know if Comics, Beers, and Sci-Fi had talked to you at all, Rob. They wanted to do like a roundtable with some local stuff. I had talked to them about it about a month ago. Totally forgot about that too. Because I ended up seeing Comics, Beer, and Sci-Fi at State of Comics on Free Comic Book Day.
Nice.
And they should do early release on the 25th.
Yeah.
I don't know why they
Oh,
wouldn't, but
it's the 25th of Thursday?
yes.
Okay, then
25th,
yeah.
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 So yeah, well, keep us up to date. We'll definitely grab you a ticket so you can come see it with us. The more the merrier on our at the theater spoiler-free reviews. And heck, yeah, we always go on that Thursday night. So if you're down, we will get you a ticket, sir, and we will look forward to it.
Cool with the Imagine Novi?
That was for you, Rob, not us.
Totally good. Fantastic.
Perfect. All right.
Sweet.
And hopefully I'll see you on Saturday. If I can talk the wife into me and Sully, she'll probably be fine as long as Sully goes. He's Oh, Felicia Day is going to be there. I got to look up who else is going to be there.
Oh, nice.
She had posted on Threads that she'll be there. I don't know if she's going to be in one of the booths or just walking around. Who knows? But that'd be
What
cool.
you should do, Keith, is with all those cards, is you find an empty desk there and just sit down and start handing them out.
That's a good idea.
Everyone thinks,
Hey, how you doing?
everyone thinks, yeah, we're with Not Your Status Quo. Yeah, here, check us out.
We're
Yeah,
huge.
yeah. Oh, yeah. You see this awesome swag? Yeah, you can tell you where you can get some. There you go. All right.
Oh, and Attack on Show says they have a great celebrity lineup. Man, I'm gonna.
Oh, so disappointed that I'm missing it.
Like, is Jenna Elfman gonna be there?
Oh, I felt so bad that no one was in her line.
I know. I felt bad for her too. Yeah. Well, maybe she was fairly new to the Comic-Con scene when we saw her, so maybe she's.
Yeah, and she was mostly known for that terrible sitcom, Dharma and Greg or whatever.
Yeah, Darwin Gray. Yep.
They
But she
charge.
was on
They
what
do.
was-
They do
yeah.
charge a lot of tech on show.
Cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have anything else. I do not have anything else.
Mm-mm.
I do not.
So maybe we
I
should
don't, but I
find.
do hope that you're able to go to Comic-Con. That way you can report it back to us.
Yeah, I'll definitely try to get some videos of some cosplay, get some stuff up we can talk about. But
Nice. Do it for the gram, man. Do it for the gram.
that's right, the gram.
Thank you, Attack on Show.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks
you
for reminding us.
participating in the chat.
We're all old and forgetful.
Oh, Slay Us. Oh, and TG is on.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wonder how much longer he'll be on for, though.
He wasn't on before I started because I usually
Oh,
when I'm
okay.
setting stuff OBS
All right.
before I usually listen to somebody. Oh,
Mhm.
and the Star Wars Underground. Ooh, the Acolyte hype intensifies. Is there really hype for the Acolyte?
Not that I've heard.
I haven't heard much.
I
Well,
did.
we're only 2 weeks away.
I did. Yeah, it's like 2 weeks away. I did like the scene that we saw attached to Phantom Menace. It was pretty good.
Oh yeah, I was going to ask about that.
But
So, what happened in that scene, or is that part of the show? You don't want to ruin it.
no, it was just the scene where they're like sitting in a cantina, and the one girl attacks the Matrix lady. It's that scene. It's just the whole scene, and actually
Oh.
the fight choreography looks better seeing the whole scene than it looked a little janky in the trailer, but it looked better in the full scene that was shown. I was like, okay, that's a little better, but I mean, both trailers we got for the Acolyte wasn't knocking anybody's socks off.
Yeah.
But
Speaking of cantinas, I was watching Ryan George. He does those pitch meeting videos. And I was watching his pitch meeting for episode 4. And, he's trying to pitch the movie to as the screenwriter. And like, so tell me a little bit about this cantina. Who all is in there? Oh, we're going to have so many great characters, bunch of aliens. We're going to have this one squid guy. We're going to have this lizard guy, Satan.
we're gonna have aliens in a band playing.
Mephisto.
Play that same song again. You got it.
What was that song?
All right, so who do you think we should raid then?
So we got the Star Wars Underground talking about the Acolyte. We got Terrible TG. We got Slayas. We got Cosmonaut Variety Hour. Oh God, he has 315
on.
people on.
Oh, that's surprising. I haven't seen him on in a while.
Yeah, neither have I.
Christelle D on there as well.
Who?
Who?
Christelle D.
Oh yeah, 529. Jeez.
Sea of Thieves.
And that one girl who was playing Fallout, she's playing that again. Laura Dreaming.
How come I
Oh,
don't
isn't
see-
that her name? Is it Lucy? Okie dokie.
Who should we do?
I think we should do TG if he's on.
Yeah, I'm with that.
Terrible Gaming 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. Let's set it up. All right. I typed it in right on the first try. Shocking, I know. Thank you so much. But once again, everybody, thanks for coming out. Like I said, we will not, or as Dave said earlier, we will not be streaming next Thursday. We will be at the theater for our Furiosa Mad Max Saga at the theater spoiler-free review. I'm looking forward to it because I love all of the Mad Max Road Warrior movies, even the ones with Mel Gibson.
Even Thunderdome?
No, not Thunderdome.
Especially Thunderdome.
I was gonna say.
I'm gonna start singing Tina Turner. We don't need another hero if you keep it up.
I am spray painting my football pads and gluing spikes on them as we speak.
That's what I like to hear, Doug. You fully committed to this.
Ready for the post-apocalypse.
All right, but we're ready to raid. Thanks everybody for coming out. We will see you all in a couple weeks. Make sure you check out our At the Theater review and enjoy your evenings. Enjoy TG.